Look, bro, I'll be completely honest. I really don't like dying in games, right? Now, obviously, you might be like, yeah, of course you don't like dying. Like, that's the whole point. It's like meant to be a punishment. But I just mean like there are a lot of games that just have very unsatisfying deaths, you know? And by unsatisfying, I just mean like, let's just take, for example, something like Minecraft, right? A lot of people think that like dying in Minecraft is actually fun, right? Okay, it's not fun to die, but it's the fact that it's like, it's the buildup of trying to survive, you know, like going through these dangerous places. And then, you know, if you do end up dying, it's harsh, but it should be harsh because then all of the buildup only exists because you're afraid of actually dying in the game, right? If death wasn't such a punishment, well, then all of the risks that you take while you're alive don't feel, you know, that interesting. But my main issue here is that I feel like a lot of games are like, they play very safe with the concept of death in the sense of like, yeah, oh yeah, once your health reaches 0, you die, haha. And I think that, you know, death as a concept that is very, very malleable. I think there's a lot of like very cool and creative stuff that even beginners can script, by the way. Even if you, okay, look, even if you have never coded ever, even if you have never touched Roblox Studio, even if you've never played Roblox, I promise you, I can literally show you right now how to script this stuff. I promise you, legit, if you're a beginner, you'll be able to do this. So yeah, I have like 3 death systems in mind. I might think of more by the end of this video, but if I don't, do comment some death systems below because I'm curious just to see what you think. Maybe I didn't mention like your favorite game that has a cool creative death system, so you know, do leave a comment. But the very first death system I had in mind was called a death bank. Okay, so think about this then. Imagine you're in a team, right? So let's just pretend or sorry, not pretend, bro, we're not pretending here, we're real and we're legit, and so we're gonna not pretend ever. Here we go, we're gonna have player 2. Okay, his name is Rig. It's a very nice name. And what if right now we're in a team and we're getting like shot by some people, like, oh, take cover or whatever, right? And then I, whoops, die. I'm dead, but he isn't. Now you might be like, what are you saying? Like, obviously, right? Of course. But here's the thing, right? Let me tell you something. What if, okay, what if this character, what if this Rig and me shared a health pool? How much health does this guy have, right? Let's think about this. How much health does he actually have? Yeah, he has 100 health, okay? But what if you make a system so that like you have something which doesn't actually damage the health of the players, but damages this overall like bar, right? Like, so let's say maybe there's like some text that says like, oh yeah, like the total amount is like 200. So for example, right, let's say my health is 100 and then this Rig's health is also 100. So what if instead of just, you know, someone shooting at me and, you know, I take 100 damage and I die, what if they shoot at me and then instead of it being like at 200 out of 200, it drops to 100 out of 200, but both of us are still alive. But the moment that it drops to 0 out of 200, we both instantly die. So it's basically like a shared health pool. And so this stuff honestly is very easy to code. I know in the beginning that I said like, hey, yeah, if you're a beginner, I'll teach you this stuff. Look, you got to be smart enough to know that like some of these things you might not understand. Like, for example, you might even not know what print is. I mean, at that point, you're beyond saving, like, Jesus, but like, you know what I mean, right? Like, I'll try to explain this in the most basic way that I am able to, right? Basically, every single character has this thing called a humanoid, okay? And so what I can do, right, is inside of the script, I can just like wait for like, let's say 2 seconds just to make sure that everything is loaded. And then I can just go through every single item that's inside of the actual workspace, right? So workspace is where you can actually find everything, or sorry, not get children, get descendants. Because get descendants will get everything, but get children will only get the things like without the error. The reason for get descendants being that like, if you just use get children, it's only going to get these, but get descendants will get all of these and everything that's inside of them as well. So then when I get the item, which is equal to V, I can just say if V is a humanoid, then what we could do is then we could just basically listen for whenever the humanoid's health is changed and my properties window is gone. But in Roblox, if you only detect whenever like a property of something changes, so in this example, it's health, right? All I gotta do is I just gotta say V get property change signal, and then I gotta give it the actual property, which in this case is going to be health, and then I say connect function. Yeah, so basically any code inside of here will fire whenever the health property gets changed. And so what I'm thinking is, right, once we get that like new health of the player, right, we gotta actually know how much damage they took. So let's say if the player has like 75 HP now, well then they took 25 damage. But how do we get that, right? So we say local damage taken. Well, what we do is we can just say 100, assuming that's their max health. And so then we can just do 100 minus the player's current health, which in this case is v.health, right? Because v is the humanoid. And then we just take this value and we just basically say that, okay, we have our like health pool, and then we subtract this damage taken from the health pool. Fairly simple, right? The problem here, however, is what is the health pool? How do we get the health pool? So I can say local health pool. I was gonna say HP pool, but that just doesn't make any sense. I'll set it equal to 0 for now, and I'll show you why I'm doing this, right? So once we actually get the humanoid, then what I'll do is I'll just say health pool plus equals V max health. Plus equals basically means health pool is now equal to health pool's current value plus something else. So we're just adding whatever value this is on top of the value that's already inside of health pool. So in this case, there are 2 humanoids with the max health 100. So in theory, what should happen is that the health pool should be at 200. And so what I'm thinking we can do then is after we create this, we could just say while task dot wait 0.5, we can just print out health pool. So every 0.5 seconds, it could just print out what the health pool is equal to. And so yeah, then we say health pool minus equals damage taken, right? So again, minus equals meaning we subtract damage taken from the health pool value. And then I'm thinking, because we still want the players to actually remain like at full health, like I don't want the player to die before anyone else, we can set their health back to 100. Okay, so we can just say v.health is again equal to, let's say v.max health, because we're not sure what their maximum health actually is, because for your game it might be like 200 or 1000 or however inflated your game is. So yeah, let's just set it to max health. And in fact, I'm just realizing now we can just do the same for here. Yeah, so instead of 100, let's just set it to max health, just to ensure that everything works correctly for just any health value. And so then every 0.5 seconds we'll print health pool, and then we'll also check. So if health pool is less than 1, right? So if the value is less than 1, meaning it's 0 or less somehow, then we can basically do everything that we just did here, right? But instead of doing all of this, we'll just set the v.health equal to 0. And actually, I'm just realizing right now, here we're checking if it's less than 1, but it is less than 1 here. And something I'm also thinking is that if I set the health to 0, wouldn't they just activate this, which would then set their health back to their full health? So I think a quick check we also need to ensure is like, okay, if health pool is less than 1, then we don't do any of this, then we just ignore everything completely. So we'll say if health pool is less than 1, then return end. Return meaning we'll just completely end this function. And yeah, honestly, no, I think keeping health pool at a 0, I think is fine. Okay, so let's try this, okay? Let's play the game. Let's see how this is gonna work, okay? Okay, there we go, 200, 200, 200, beautiful. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some server magic, okay? So I don't know if you know this, but I actually can run code in-game. I know, devious stuff, right? There's this thing called the terminal bar, which is so underused. I don't mean to plug this early in the video, but in case you are actually interested, I do have a Roblox course, which the link is in the description. It's in the pinned comment, where I just released a free bonus unit where I just talk about like this terminal bar in more detail. So go check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, basically just workspace.rig. We get the rig's humanoid, right? And then we can say take damage. So we can basically just damage this. This is a terrible function. I'm not a big fan of it, but let's just damage this guy by like 25. Okay, let's do it again. Let's damage him by 100. As you can see, he's still technically not damaged. Okay, now let's damage him by 74. I've been only damaging him, so if I damage him right now and we both die, this is gonna work. Beautiful, wonderful. Look at that. It's still killing me, bro. That is such a fire script. This is working a little too well. I don't know, because I thought I'd like respawn and it would like start giving me errors, because that usually happens, but this script is very fluid and very nice. I like that. Honestly, this has so much potential, right? Like you can even just make this with deaths, right? So maybe like if a character dies, like they don't actually die, they just get like teleported somewhere, but then that gets counted for their deaths. And then maybe once you hit 10 deaths, then you either lose, which I guess is just a Brawl Stars knockout game mode. So basically you're given like 10 respawns for free, and then once like, you know, that cap is taken, then people just like, they die and they're just like, whoop, oh, okay, where's my respawn, guys? Where's my respawn? As like their team starts like getting like bulldozed by the enemy team. And the other cool thing that I actually was thinking about with this type of death specifically is like, what if the player was like given a choice, you know? So maybe like in the beginning of each round, or maybe like, I don't know, like maybe like I can't really think of a good way you could implement this, but maybe the player could like have a choice where what like the damage is either like dealt to them, so then they die and then they have to wait for respawning or losing their, you know, gear or whatever, or they can toggle it so that whenever they get damaged, there's like this like bar that's on the top, and so their damage goes to the bar. So then, you know, they technically have more health, but it's shared with other people. And then if that bar goes to 0, every single person dies. I know you might be right now thinking like, oh yeah, everyone would just use that, because then duh, obviously, like, you know, people just want to keep their gear, and so like, you know, they would much rather have their health in a bar. But what if I told you that, like, let's say if you opt out, then you don't die when the bar reaches 0. So you can either be part of this collective shared health bar, or you could just be by yourself, which means that, you know, you technically have less HP somewhat, but you're not affected by other player decisions. I don't know, I feel like that'd just be like a really cool like idea to actually look into for any developers, you know, wanting to code games but who just have no ideas because they're stupid. All right, dev states is the second type of dev. I'll be completely honest, I'm not about to script this, bro, but here's the thing, the reason I'm not about to script, and like hear me out here, I'm not about to script this because this is actually highly advanced, okay, in the sense that this literally gives you more content. Okay, this is going to give you a ton of content, which is why I'm not gonna script it here because I don't know, this video is gonna be like what, 20 minutes or something. So basically, this idea of dev states is when you die, you switch a state, because right now death, like I said, acts as more of a punishment, right? The thing that we just discussed right now with the whole shared health bar, it doesn't take away from the fact that death is still a punishment. The whole point of death in a lot of games is that, oh hey, you were doing this and you got mistaken for it. The whole idea of death in games is, after all, like, hey, you were doing a mistake, and then because of that mistake, now you must be punished. What if we make a game where instead of like death, really, it's like you get, you know, killed or whatever, but then you like it triggers like a switching state. I don't know if you know, I made a video on astral projection because I saw some files, I read some books, I thought it was pretty cool. It's like basically where you like leave out a body, and I had this like just quick thought of like, oh, actually, if this thing was proven to be real, that like, hey, when you die, you like leave your body or whatever, you go into like the soul, the astral realm or some shit. That would be interesting, right? And I got an idea for a game where like you might like do that, where, you know, while you're here, so like maybe you have like a gun and you can like shoot people, but then when you get killed, you're like a ghost, and so then you no longer have a gun, you can't shoot people, but then you can't be seen, and then you can like slowly drain like the life essence of people around you or some shit. But then obviously that's kind of boring, so then maybe like flashing a light at the ghost like kills it instantly or something. Because like I said, I still think that death should be like a punishment in a way, but I think this idea of like state switching would be interesting, where like maybe they can like make you a little weaker, or maybe they can just make it like more boring to play, so that like if you die, it still sucks, but hey, you can at least do something. I remember in Overwatch specifically, there's this character called Hammond, I think, like the hamster, Wrecking Ball, and a lot of people suggested this idea of like when the guy dies, like the hamster can jump out of the machine and start like nibbling on people's like knees and like deal like 1 damage, which is a hilarious idea, but it like, because you know, people are like, haha, that's funny, haha, that's funny, but like, you know, us intellectual Aerochads, Roblox, Giga, I don't even know, like whatever buzzword you're thinking of right now, just, you know, pretend I'm saying it. Basically, we're really smart. We're smarter than everyone else, right? And so what I was thinking is like, damn, that's actually a good idea. Not like biting ankles and everything and dealing 1 damage, but what if like when the player dies, they can still do something? Imagine a game where when you die, instead of just being like, oh, I'm dead now, oh, let me go do something else. No, you want your game to be played 24/7. 24/7. Every great game does this. I know people don't like Blade Ball on Roblox and everything, but Blade Ball, I played it for a bit because of my siblings, so I don't play that stuff by myself. But there's always something to do in Blade Ball. You go on, you're either in the match, right? You're either looking for the ball. If you're outside of the match, you're either training, you're either opening chests, you're either spinning something, you're either like emoting, doing something, like going to different servers. There's always like something to do. So in specifically Roblox games, you want that for your game. You want people to continuously have something to do. And then imagine a fun game, a fast-paced shooter or like fighter or whatever, that when you die, you literally unlock more content, more abilities. And then maybe as a ghost, when they shine a flashlight at you, maybe you go to a different state. Maybe now you become air, and then you can like breathe on people and make them like, I don't know, like hear stuff. And then that's actually such a fun idea. Like if you can make people like hallucinate sounds, or like you can like make them hear footsteps behind them, they turn around, they're like, what is that? And then you can like jump scare them or something, like as a ghost. That's such a fire idea, bro. Roblox should hire me. I'm single-handedly going to increase Roblox stock by 2000%. Mark my words. But okay, like after that, if you've been like a ghost 3 times and you get the flashlight shined on for like the 2nd time and you're dead, okay, fair enough. That's when you can actually give them a real death and then they can't do anything. But that was a very cool idea for me, right? And actually, you know what? I actually might script it right now, because I know I said I'm not going to, but I can just script a very basic premise, right? So basically I want to be this character now, okay? I like this character. I don't like my character anymore, bro. What's that meme? It's like friendship ended with X, I'm now best friends with Y or something. You know those memes where it's like some Indian guy handshaking some guy? There we go, look at that. This is me now, because I named him starter character, I put him inside starter player, now I'm starter character. Wonders how that works. So what I'm thinking we do is we'll just make another script, we'll also loop, but this time through game.players get players, right? So basically, in this case, that's me, I'm the player, right? So we're gonna loop through every single player. We're gonna say if not v.character, because v is the player, right? If not v.character, then continue. And Continue meaning we skip to the next player, right? Which right now in this case, it's just me, so it's not gonna skip to anyone, but you know what I mean. And so what I'm thinking we can do is we can just say like v.character, right? Not camera mode, bro. But look, we just gotta do the same thing as we did with health, right? So character, humanoid, gets property. I hate it when like it doesn't autocomplete. It's not autocompleting because like it doesn't know if what V is exactly, even though it should. So I don't know what. Doesn't Roblox have like some new AI or something? But okay, whatever. Get property change signal, which I'm gonna be looking for health. Okay, connect function like so. And so I'm curious. Could I just like whenever the health changes, could I just set it back to being full? Could I do that? I'm really curious though, honestly. Let's play this right now, okay? Let me do the same thing where I say workspace, the original lamp, humanoid, not root part, bro. Why root part? Like, well, bro, okay, when it's recommending you stuff, it should always be like the least first and then the longest later. Because if I'm looking humanoid, I definitely want one of the two, right? But maybe I want humanoid. If I wanted humanoid root part, I would put an R after the humanoid, but look, okay, whatever, I'm just ranting at this point. Take damage, right, so I'll just copy this. Let's hit 25, okay? That did not really help down. Okay, let's maybe do something different, okay? Local car is equal to v dot, let's say character, or character added, wait, okay? So basically this will just get us the character, but if the character isn't loaded yet, it's gonna wait for the character. And then so here we can just say car. Roblox scripting changes you as a man, bro. I'm telling you right now. I mean, okay, let's see this, right? Let's see this. 25. Let's try this. Are we for real? Okay, you know what? Let's before doing that, let's just wait for 1 second, okay? Because who knows? Maybe it hasn't actually loaded in the fact that my character actually exists yet. Okay, let's go to the server. Let's try this. Let's keep entering. Oh, look at that. So when I do it like this, then my character is fine. That's interesting. So when I do it on the server, it's fine, but then when I do it on my client, it's not fine. I know every beginner has probably already clicked off the video, but in case you're confused, like, bro, I don't even know what to say anymore. But yeah, okay, so that works, so that's nice. So what I'm thinking we can do then is whenever the character actually ends up dying, then he isn't going to actually die, but then like get like revived. So let's try this, okay? What I'll do is I'll just make a line here. I'll say if car, right? So we're just gonna copy this actually. I'm just gonna check if the car's health is less than 1. Then what we're gonna do is then we're gonna actually set their health to be more maxed, right? And then what I'm gonna do is let's just pretend this is actually gonna do something. And so then what I'm gonna do is let's just pretend that this is like some brand new ability. I'm just gonna loop through the character. So for car, let's say get children, do if v, or wait, no, I'm just realizing we're inside of a loop. So I can't use IV because we've already used IV. So you know what I'm gonna do, because I'm a creative person, we're gonna double it. Double it and give it to the next. No, I hate those videos so much, bro. If the VV is a base part, so VV is the thing inside of the actual character, let's actually get the transparency and let's just set it to like 0.6. But also we need to make sure that VV.name is not equal to humanoid root part, because the humanoid root part is always invisible, so I don't want to make that visible. Okay, so humanoid root part, we're gonna change the transparency of everything but the humanoid root part, and then I'm just gonna say after all of that is done, sorry, car.humanoid.walk speed, let's say plus equals 30. So we're gonna make the character really speedy. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think that's good. So let's actually try that. Yeah, so let me just damage the character by 0. Oh, look at that. So, okay, because I was thinking, like, maybe I'm gonna set the health to 0, but, like, it's gonna be too late for the health to update back to max. But it's actually not. So, whenever the health changes, before actually killing the character, it does all of these events. And only once that's done, then it checks if the health is 0. But here, if you check this event and you set the health to max, then it's not gonna kill the player. It's actually really cool. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. So, I'm a ghost now. Now, if I do the same thing, then I'm dead. Like I said, bro, this code is actually, like, it's accidentally accounting for everything. What if I do this again? Okay, never mind. But look, that was nice, okay? I like the fact that it actually, like, kills you again when you're a ghost. Because it's not supposed to do that, is it? Look, point is, okay, this opens up huge possibility, okay? Not that, but you know what I mean. Like, first you're a ghost, you can, like, phase through walls, you die too light or whatever, like maybe some vampire. And then, as a ghost, you die again, you turn into some creature, you die again, then you die permanently, and then that's it, right? But this type of death, honestly, is really nice because it just opens up the gates to more fun gameplay. And like I said, it's not even that hard to script, at least in Roblox. If you're using like Unreal Engine 5, bro, you have my blessings, okay? But like on Roblox, I know this looks like a long script, but I was just rambling a little bit earlier. Like, this really isn't that long. right? You could easily make a full like game where like deaths gift the players new abilities, and I think that would do really well. Okay, so the third and last type of death, which I myself really like because I actually played a game recently. I finished this game recently, so no spoilers, right? But it's a death loop, and the game I'm talking about is Outer Wilds. Okay, so again, no spoilers, it's a beautiful game, beautiful ending, go check it out, go play it fully. But the idea of a death loop system, especially how Outer Wilds does this, is that in theory, or not, sorry, not in theory, like in practice, you could, like if you know the game and you know how it works, the very first time you wake up in the game, like the very first time you play the game, you can literally finish the game, just if you know where to go. Because if implementing a death loop system into your game means that, and by death loop it means that like when you die, you get like sent back to like the start. Like basically like the game has a system in place where a death doesn't just reset your progress, but it just loops it. It puts you back, but it doesn't like reset your progress. Death is almost like encouraged in games like these. So specifically like for Roblox, Doors comes to mind. Like it's not really a death loop, but like when you die, it tells you like how to avoid it. Because if you walk into a room and the lights begin flickering, what do? You know, like your very first playthrough of Doors, you die to so many monsters just because you didn't know what the flickering lights meant. And that makes sense because you shouldn't have known that. But then when you actually die to them and then it tells you, you're like, oh, okay. So then you use that death as a lesson. Now, some games, like I said, like Outer Wilds, they take this to a more like serious approach where you basically just die every like 5 or 10 minutes or something. But then everything that you actually learn is contributed. And so every time you learn something new, then now you're like, okay, I died, but now I can go here, or then I can go to a different place. And this type of death is more for like single player games, right? Because like when you die, the world kind of like resets in a way. So like if some guy dies and the entire world resets, that's not really too fun in like a multiplayer setting. But in single player, it's like specifically what Outer Wilds does, right? Is basically like when you die, you get sent back and then the entire world refreshes, right? Meaning that, you know, like there's a planet where like sand is falling on it, and then like after like some time it gets filled up with sand, and then it has caves inside of it, meaning that like once it's filled up, that's it, you're done. You can no longer go inside of these caves because they've been filled up with sand. That's it. Or sometimes your only ship just explodes and that's it, you have no more ship and you're screwed. But then you die, you get sent back, which is a mystery in and of itself. The whole game is oriented around figuring out why you even are like in a time loop in the first place, which is, again, it's a great game, I really recommend it. But then like again, you get sent back and now you have your ship, it's fully intact, the sand hasn't filled up the cave yet, and now you also have the knowledge about these caves, right? So now you can actually go quickly to those caves before they're full of sand, and then you can learn some new thing, and then after you die again, you know, because the sand is too quick or something, then you can go to another thing with your new knowledge, and so then you just keep dying and looping and dying and looping until you finally get everything that you need to know, like everything, and then you get to your, and then you reach your final death loop, and then you complete the entire game. But your final death loop and your very first death loop are exactly the same. So if you had all of the knowledge in the first death loop, you could have finished the game. I found this video actually about the Outer Wilds death screen, which I'll play real quick. No spoilers or anything, but it might be a little weird to understand. So this is what you see whenever you die, right? Look at this. You see like screenshots of like what the players like saw on their journey, right? Look at him. He's been roasting marshmallows. He's been in space. Okay, he's been chilling. He's been flying. Okay. He's been walking around. He's been looking at balls. Okay. And what else? He's just done nothing the entire game, and now he wakes up. Okay, whatever. For a Roblox game, I don't think there's a game that does it exactly like Outer Wilds. So I genuinely think you could take like a concept like Outer Wilds and just turn that into a Roblox game. Like legit, because the way Outer Wilds work, again, I keep glazing this game, but basically it's like you have a ship log, and that's the only thing that actually saves, right? So in your ship, you can check like, and you can like see every new piece of like information that you've learned. You don't need it to finish the game. It's just for you to actually solve like puzzles and clues and fully understand everything that you actually like, you know, have to do. So a Roblox game like that would be fun, right? Now, if you don't want to inherently copy what Outer Wilds did, but you still want to like, you know, make a similar like death loop system, I do think that an interesting concept would be like, maybe like you have to die and then like you loop back, but then you loop back because like now you like, because I don't think that you can necessarily avoid copying Outer Wilds, because the whole idea of like a death loop is exactly what Outer Wilds does, right? It's like you live, you learn something, you die, and then you refresh, but now you have new new knowledge, right? So you go back to the start each time, but you're better and you're better and you're better until you just have to beat the game. There's no alternative. Something like Undertale does something similar with, like, you know, all of the boss fights where, like, you beat Sans, or sorry, you die to Sans, and then he's like, oh, I killed you, yeah. But then you come back to the beginning, but now you know more. So Undertale is actually a wonderful example of this death loop system. So yeah, honestly, if you can just make a Roblox game that's like similar to Outer Wilds, where like you die and then you wake up and you have more information and you solve clues and then you win eventually and you get an amazing ending, please do that, because that would be pretty cool. And I mean, yeah, honestly, like, again, I don't really have much ideas for like cool deaths, because like, honestly, sometimes it might be a little too much. Like, I agree that some games should just stick to like, oh yeah, you get shot, boom, you die, you like wait 5 seconds to respawn, or you like lose all of your progress. Like, if you're playing Minecraft hardcore, obviously your death should be permanent. Like, obviously, that's the whole point of hardcore. Likewise, if you're playing a first-person shooter, if you die, you should wait to respawn. Respawning immediately is just going to feel unfair to the enemy team, unless, like I said, there's like a shared health bar, or there's like a, I don't think a death loop, I don't even know how a death loop system would work in like a multiplayer first-person shooter, but maybe it will. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, again, I'm just here to provide you with ideas and inspiration, right? I don't really like develop games myself. I just like concept programming. I like doing all of the back-end stuff. I'm not really into the whole game development like process as a whole. So like I said, final plug, if you do want to actually learn more scripting from, you know, yours truly, I do have a course. It has free previews, so you can like check out how the course is structured before you actually buy it for free, no strings attached, no debit card needed or whatever. So click on the link in the description and the pinned comments. They're both the same. I don't know why I had to click on both. I don't know. It's just gonna give me more like, just click on both anyway. It's gonna like recommend the course to more people. And do subscribe, just because the silver play button is looking mighty close, bro. It's just right there. Like, I can just taste it, you know, I can just lick it. That's a weird thing to say, but you know, if you love me as a person, if you adore me, and you love just everything about me, do subscribe. Then please do subscribe. And yeah, so hopefully I've completely changed your perception about how many games are boring and not creative, and hopefully every single game you play from now on, you kind of keep that in mind, and whenever you die, you're just like, damn, like, that Bike Blocks guy, you know, he said some smart things. This is very annoying and boring. These games are very boring and unoriginal. And so with that in mind, as always, we're back to basics. Thank you for watching.